Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business Over Beer. I'm your host, Ben Surratt, and today I'm getting a little spooky. And it's an interview I've wanted to do for a while now, and I'm so glad I have my guest here today. Guest, who are you and where am I?
Absolutely. I'll say thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
My name is Tanner. I'm one of the co-owners here at Sheboygan Haunted Asylum, which is the haunted house attraction side of it. It's our second year operating here in this great facility that was built in 1939, closed in 2002. This is the old Sheboygan County Hospital for the Insane, built way back in the day and has so much history and lore behind it. We thought no better spot to do a haunted house attraction inside of it. And we're so excited to be in the community of Sheboygan Falls. And, this has been a great fall so far. And, we hope to have more and more people come out and check us out.
Yeah, dude, thank you again so much for having us out, man. I've been wanting to do a haunted attraction for a long time now since I've started, only because I've always been to the guest, but I've never really understood the business part. And you took us on a tour before this. It was awesome. And just how sophisticated everything is here and the imagination and the work that has to go into it. But this is a business over beer. Yeah. So is it okay if I open my beer?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I tried to get something spooky, but they didn't have anything at the store.
Gotcha.
Spooky. So I did an Oktoberfest.
Absolutely.
My point. Yeah, okay. So let's pop that open. Ooh, it's always a good sound.
Yep.
So let's start from the beginning. How did you get into the whole haunt business?
I always like to say this when people ask, how'd you do this? I say I lost a bet. But not technically. My business partner, Scott, he's been a great fella that I've worked with the last few years. Him and I, we've actually toured across the country. We've seen about 60 haunted houses in one season at one point.
Dude.
Just seeing the good, the bad, and I wouldn't say bad across the country. I mean, there's so many great haunted attractions across the country that people have no idea of or never been to. But we had the very unique opportunity to go see them and learn from that. Not to copy what they're doing, but learn how can we do it in our form, in our fashion, and try to put out the best product possible. And this is such a great facility to do it. Mm-hmm. But I'm very cherished and very thankful and blessed opportunities of being able to do it here in this great facility.
Amen to that, brother. How did you find this place? Did you find it? Did you look for it? Did they contact you? How did this particular place pop on your radar?
We've seen an ad for Craigslist. I'm just kidding. So we operated other haunted attractions in the past. The owner of the facility actually reached out to us about, maybe doing something like that. And we kind of, joint partnership with them. And, we're so super stoked. Like, this is such a great building. Have a haunted house inside of it. I can't beat the atmosphere enough. I always look at it and think about the past of imagine what it was like back in the day in 1945 of the people, what they wore. One of the craziest things to me is in the shower room, it's almost like the shower head is at about 6, or it's actually about 5'5" feet tall. So the people back in the day were shorter and small, not as big as people.
Yeah.
So it'd be something kind of crazy to think about.
I never thought it like that. And how tall are you? Because you're tall.
About 6 feet.
Yeah.
But it's probably about chest height.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think of how much lower it was or what it was like in this facility. There's 259,000 square feet of it. Imagine what it was like back in the heyday. That's what I just picture.
And I think that's a lot that I like about this particular facility is the history behind it. When you do other venues too, right? Do you have other things that you do?
We have done other attractions in the past. This is just the main one that we've focused on because, before we used to do setup and tear down, which is such a lot of work. A lot of people don't get to see, imagine only having 3 weeks. We've been up against the gun sometimes, 3 weeks to set something up and try to put out the best product. And it's hard to set it up and have it ready in time for everybody than it is. Thankfully, this building, we build it and it stays up and, we make enhancements and, changes. We've made a lot of enhancements this last season just to, how do we learn and just get better from every day? That's the goal of any business. How do you just get better each day and day?
Oh, dude, amen to that. Was there a moment after you got it all set up? I want to get into challenges that you've had in the past, but was there a particular moment when you were boom, yep, I know that what we got is a winner? Or did you ever have that aha moment?
No, absolutely. I mean, with any business owner or anything like that, there's so much ups and downs and roller coasters of with it. I mean, there's so much that people do not see at the end of the day. And like, there's been moments where you're like, you question yourself, like, what am I doing? Or why am I doing this? And then there's those days where you're like, whew, thankfully, and I want to say this year so far is, I'd have to say, that moment of really, catching wind of it, because this is our second year of something staying up permanently. Before I said we were set up, tear down. Like last year, we had 2 attractions across the board, and it was a lot from us just mentally, like as a human. There's only so much time in the day of, let alone from the marketing side of it to the side of just setting everything up and making sure everything's safe. And, I always think, people always say safety is a very priority, but I can't stress how much important safety is to us, because you're going to the haunted attraction, you're bringing people in the dark, they don't know where they're going. The staff knows where they're going, but if it's not safe, that's dangerous, and that we can't, do that as a business owner. I mean, there is so much on your plate that you got to think of. So it puts a lot on your shoulders, but, I like that challenge though, sometimes, of this. And I think, I'd say this year's been that haha moment of like, okay, we're getting there. We're established. Let's get better. Let's just get better day after day. So it just, kind of rolling with it.
Yeah. That's one of my questions, actually. Let's get to that one right now is, you talked about making sure people are safe, but making sure it's exciting. How do you balance that as a creative, in your creative mind? Like, how do you balance, like, this is going to be safety, but I want it to be fun. I want the guests to be like scared, but they got to be safe. So how do you balance that?
Yeah, I'd actually say that probably insurance companies hate me. Some of like the crazy thoughts or ideas, like, I think about the craziest times, like, what if we try this? What if we do that? But doing it in a fashion of how do you do it with multiple people going through, multiple people's heights, ages, physical, ability. You got to think of it in a form way, and making it safe. But I would say, going through as a guest, kind of pretending yourself and making sure the staff has the same wherewithal and backing of what is in your mind and your eyes. I always have the philosophy of, if you see something, say something, because it's very important. We can only be in one spot, but if you see something falling out, get it out of the way. Tripping hazards, we want to make sure, none of that happens, because sometimes customers come through. We've had it where customers are like a bull in a china shop coming through in a trip. But they're so frightened and scared. So like, there's nothing against it to them. Some people are just so scared of certain things, and
Yeah.
we kind of have to wait and balance that. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that you have to glue down or screw down. Like, you've seen it. Like, there's a little stairwell there. All those chairs are screwed up there. So because it takes one person to Jenga that and knock it all down. So thinking of things like that, what could happen. You hope they don't happen, but you always just got to keep your eyes peeled. It's something that's always been important.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes with any business owner. I mean, like, thinking of the unexpected usually happens when something bad happens. You don't really have that luxury, bro.
No.
You don't have that luxury of, oh, if somebody happens to fall, we'll know how to fix it. It's like, no. We can't have anything like that. So
No, absolutely.
That's crazy. So tell us about the actual season when it starts. Okay. So when did you get here to open up the asylum?
So I got here probably late July, early August. I've been over here in the summer a little bit, working on some stuff, working a lot of stuff behind the scenes, just structural behind, like, marketing plan, and setting up celebrities. We have a couple celebrities joining us this fall, which I'm excited for. But there's so much that goes on. It's not just, hey, open up the doors, have people come through. There's orders that got to be placed, tickets got to be ordered, and so much marketing side of, that a lot of people don't get to see. But we start September 26th is when we opened. We're open for 15 nights this season.
Is that the most you've had so far? Is that the longest?
Been the longest. We have opened in the past, like late October and other attractions, but
Okay.
Typically September is slow, but we were very surprised on how busy it was in September with the turnout. But I think people are just excited about the fall this year, and the weather's been warm, but I think it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typically, like in the Midwest is kind of when you see the cooler weather and people really feel the fall, like compared to like where I'm at, like Arizona, people don't feel the cold weather. So it doesn't feel like the spirit of the time of it. Or Florida even, it's humid and 95 degrees out.
Yeah.
So that's one great thing about the up north.
Dude, Do you want it cooler though to get the people like, or do you want it nicer? And that's kind of a weird question, but like, do you want it a little bit cooler?
No, that's a funny question. So like last 2 weeks I was in a t-shirt, which was great. Like now this week I was in a sweatshirt and I was out here at night the other night. It was a little chilly. I don't mind it, but sometimes, being a scare actor, stuff like that, you kind of hope for the little bit cooler weather. Because I remember last week I was sweating completely. But yeah, you really hope for that fall weather where it's just crisp and cool enough where you're not having to put on a winter jacket, but where it's fall.
Yeah.
Flannel jacket and, pumpkin spice. All that good stuff that people look forward to in the
pumpkin latte.
October. Absolutely.
Because my son was like, because it was almost 90 last weekend down in Milwaukee. We were down in Milwaukee it was almost 90 degrees down there. And this week it cooled off and he goes, Dad, it finally feels like October. It feels like fall. That's why I asked that question. Because to me, when it's like, this is spooky weather to me. This is like, for me, perfect. I don't know. This is how I think about it. So let's talk about the actors. Do you have repeat actors or do you hire new every year?
Absolutely. That's always a great question about the actors of finding staff. So we do pay our staff nightly, which is something we've changed to before. It used to be like a weekly thing, but to help staff, they're always looking for spending money. This might not be able to make a career out of doing a haunted house, but it helps make a little spending money, eat here, go to the movies or something, help with gas money. But we're always looking for new staff. We have a pretty good staff this year. Last year was challenging trying to staff 2 attractions because a lot of people don't think about it, but it's one thing to hire somebody, and it's one thing to hire an actor or somebody or train them to being able to scare people. Because like, you could hire anybody to say that works in any other restaurant or industry, but how do you get somebody to be in that feel and that vibe of like being spooky, lurking and creepy and being able to actually scare people where the customer's not scaring them, it's the actor should be scaring them? Because we've had people before where the actors would scare, or the customers would scare the actor more than the actor.
Oh, really?
We've had that. So we got to find, it's my goal or our goal overall in the team of finding the best people we can. And so far, I think we have a really great staff to, putting on the best show that we've had. I stand behind our show and think it's the best that we've had, and getting the best people around that show to make it happen. Because at the end of the day, it's not just Scott and myself that produce the show. It's the actors that help it make it come to life. Because at the end of the day, then it's just drywall and screws. But the aesthetics still help it for sure. But the actors really help bring it to life. Honestly, so that's.
What does an audition look like for an actor?
Absolutely. So like my biggest basis is I love talking with people on that topic of like. What kind of, do they have experience scaring? We've had a lot of people where they don't have experience, but I think we kind of get them into the role or into the scene and really kind of teach them on how to do it or how to get it, and kind of comes out of them. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but in that audition, I kind of interview them a little bit and just kind of see where they're at. Or sometimes people that don't have experience, they might be scare their friends or their brothers, which still is a good characteristics because I love to scare people even when it's not the season, just to like be the prankster that I am. But sometimes people with that ability or they are high energy is good as well. But just kind of seeing what kind of person they are, what they could be. You know, I look at it like we all put our pants on the same way everybody else does. So nobody's really better than anyone else. Might be better at certain things here and there, but I think collectively as a group, we might have some really good crawler people, and then we all might have some really good tall, big guys. But it all makes the collective effort together to making the best product that you can. So
crawler people freak me out, bro.
Yeah,
I had a nightmare about that one day. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I had a nightmare where I was going down I was picking up the kids from school or something, and then Quincy came out, and behind him was somebody crawling. It was weird. Really? This was back in the day. Don't worry about it, Patty. It's good.
Just don't look behind you.
So let's talk about the things that you've done this year, which I love, by the way. It seems to me that you've really, to be fair, I didn't go to it. I'd never been here before. It's my first time here, but.
That's mine just right there.
Did it?
Must be the spirits.
For the people listening and not watching,
And I can't record.
the both. Okay. So for the people who are listening, both Patty's camera and my camera just when I was talking about you, they're following you.
I had nothing to do with it, I promise.
So, Patty asked you a question and it was awesome. And it was, she said, so how did you come up with that? Like, how did you guys come up with the idea? And you're like, guys, it was like, that's me. There's a lot of me that goes into this. How do you consider yourself like a storyteller, a creative, a business owner, or all the above?
I would look at the end of the day, I try to be a team player across the board. I'm not the big fan of try to be I. I've learned a lot, like in my younger years, of just being humble in the whole situation. I'm very grateful with a lot of the opportunities that I do get to kind of have a crazy mind of different ideas or different thoughts where, I wouldn't say all of them get to stick or get to happen, but, I keep chasing and how do we elevate our game? I have great people around me that I think the biggest thing is just communication across the board to people, like a lot of great people I know in the haunt industry that I talk to and get ideas from. You got to be careful sometimes where people don't steal your ideas or certain things. But I think working across with other people, like other great minds, like if you surround yourself with great people, you help elevate your game as well. I always learned in the day of having like a mentor. And I'd have to say sometimes my business partner, Scott, or even other haunted attraction people that I've worked with, I consider as mentors that I can kind of go to ideas of, because I will be the first one to tell you, like, I don't know everything at the end of the day. Like, and I don't think anybody should or does, we're all learning on the fly. Every year is a whole different year of what goes on in the world and the economy, because that affects the entertainment side of it, because that's what this is at the end of the day. I mean, it's a scare haunted house, but it's entertainment. And, I'm not gonna lie to you, like things, I look at the big picture of things of like, look at Disney World was down this year, but that's Orlando, Florida, yes, but is that a telling sign? Las Vegas is down right now. Is that a telling sign of what the economy has been? Thankfully, it's been good around here, yes. North central Wisconsin, but there's, you try to get a good feeling or good telling of what's kind of going on in the world. And that's, you just got to think of it as a business owner, because you only have 6 weeks to make this happen. You try to, time management's the most important thing of getting everything set up and make it. I wouldn't say.
That's a good question.
Yeah. No,
if you don't in here, Patty asked, does it take you all year to plan?
I would say it is almost a year-round thing. Just because November hits and the season's over, closed doors, it doesn't mean that we're not thinking. I know when we're looking at doing like a Christmas event or a Valentine's event or even a summer event is something we plan on doing. But you got to plan for that at some point. We do go to a trade show. It's in St. Louis and usually in March. It's a Halloween trade show. They have all sorts of different cool props and effects, stuff like that we go look at. Actually, right after the season ends, we go down to Orlando. It's a big trade show called IAPA, and it's like an amusement rides of Universal goes there, Disney goes there. But even though we're just a haunted house, we still go there because we might look for ideas or concepts or something that might work or might stick. I've seen it was kind of cool. I seen what are they? Those little sliding things, little slings. But they have them in the Dells, so it might not work in this market. But I was like, man, that'd be cool if we put that in. Other attractions you think of, it's just
Could you imagine?
Slinging out of the first story floor, or just cool ideas. I mean, how do we implement it as safe, that's affordable, that makes sense? As a business owner, you always try to elevate your game because you just got to get better from day in, day out.
So the other thing I want to know is, how I love this is a scary thing, but business is scary. Starting a business is scary. So what are some things that scare you even to this day about running your own business? Like, is it the accident thing? Is it like, what are things that like, oh man, keep me up at night?
I would say everything. You really got to think about it. I've had the opportunity. I used to be an event manager with monster trucks before. And it kind of really opened my eyes because we would operate the shows, but I got to look at the grand scheme of it, of making sure everyone's safe in the crowd, making sure the drivers are safe, making sure my crew is safe, time management of when it's okay to go on the track to fix something or not. It's the same thing with here. Before we open, we gotta look and think of, is everything on? Because I think even if one thing's not on, that customer's not getting that one show. But it's my goal of them getting the full and correct show that they should deserve for each one that pays through. Because you look at like rock concerts, the concert should be the same concert everywhere they go. Might be a little bit different experience, different venue, but it should still be the same good show that they deserve. But I think as an owner, you always got to look out for, just pitfalls or stupid things to happen. Like, how do you avoid mistakes? Like, I'll even try to teach my staff, not saying that, everyone doesn't have like good eyes but if you see something, say something, pick it up, let's fix it, let's do it right, because it's not going to ever fix itself. Like if you just let something be, and then it's going to come bite you in the butt. You just need to make sure everything's safe. We have waivers for people to come on property. Just, you got to protect yourself in this day and age of, I hate, you have to do that, but, people come into different things. But, I think if you really got to be on your toes I think it's one thing to be on your toes, and then I think it's another thing to be an owner and just push things off and neglect things, which something here at our team, we do not allow to happen, because, that'll only come bite you in the butt. And it's very important that, if it's broken, fix it.
Yeah, amen to that. I mean, a lot of people, and the other thing is, like, when you were talking about too, having a mentor and stuff like that, is asking for help when you need it. A lot of business owners are scared to ask for help. And because I don't know if they think they have to wear all the hats. But I'm glad that it's really cool that you said that you have a mentor and you have a partner that you rely on, even the people that you hire, your actors and stuff. That's awesome. That's a sign of a good culture and a good business, man. I love that.
Thank you.
This is something I really want to know. What have you learned about people? What have you just about people and how they react to being scared? Like, it'd have to be great people watching.
Oh, I love to people watch all the time. It's so funny. Sometimes I'll even get in costume and, I look for techniques. I'm not going to say I'm the greatest scare actor ever, but I think there's opportunities that I've learned in the past on how the technique of scaring certain people in certain areas, or when they're vulnerable, they have their guard down, or they might see you walk by real quick and then they let their guard down for a sec, then you come attack, that's kind of the goal. But, you get all kinds of people that come through in different attractions. I would say, like, we've had to even elevate our game. I think the gore side of it, like, movies nowadays are such more like the CGI in it. The level bar is extreme compared to when Psycho first came out, of what a horror movie was to what it is today. I mean, it's the same thing we kind of fight with, because I look at a haunted attraction almost being like a movie, that people get to watch. But the people going through all sorts of different kinds of people that, enjoy haunted house, they come with their friends. The funniest thing to me is, like, they'll come through with their boyfriend or girlfriend, but the boyfriend will be more scared than the girlfriend sometimes, or all sorts of kinds. Like, it was actually a cool opportunity. I used to work at a haunted attraction in Florida, and we had the football team come out. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they had a player called Jalen Ramsey. A cornerback. He came through the haunt, and it was funny to say he was like the biggest baby of the whole thing. Like, I literally chased him around the whole park, and but that's the funny thing. People, will be 6 foot and, all big and mighty out here, talk all the game, and then they go in the haunt and they're
freaking out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great. So I loved it. To me, what really entertains and keeps me happy, or like puts a smile on my face, is just seeing people smiling, having a good time, getting scared. Because, like, that's what my goal is, just to see people. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business to make money and be able to, afford living with how living is nowadays, with how expensive everything is. But, just seeing the happy and joy in people, like, I'm the type, I just love to entertain. I'd love, for us to, put out a good product.
How do you, you talked a little bit about it, but how do you try to maintain the history and the lore of the place without being predictable every year? Like, do you come up with different stories, or like, how does that work?
No, absolutely. So that's even the mentor side of it. I work with different designers on, helping me kind of craft a story, because I think that's the best idea, where you bounce ideas off of other people in the industry of, like, ooh, that's a good thought. That's a good idea, because that's where you get the best idea, because at the end of the day, we don't know everything, and we can't be know-it-alls in it. But that's where, like, we have a story that we actually, was made for the haunted attraction and why it's there. So it's not just some random haunted attraction in Asylum. If people want to check it out, it's on our webpage. It's a pretty cool story. Henry Osgood, which is the superintendent, quick synopsis is he lost his daughter, 8-year-old daughter, that he recreated a room for her. But in the asylum, he tried to find the cure for fear. So he set a chemical all throughout the asylum, and now kind of fogged everyone out. Everyone's kind of gone mad and crazy. There's a lot more to the story, but I was just really kind of summed it up a lot. But I would say for the history side of it, we do offer like our VIP tours, which we have a really, really great person that does it. His name is Mike. And like, I wish I could remember some of the stuff he has, but like the history and lore of what actually took place here and what was used is like such a cool opportunity. Like a lot of people come here and take our tour, which includes a haunted house ticket, which is actually a pretty good value. They end up sometimes saying, the tour is such a favorite part because it's about a 90-minute experience. Going through the haunted house is about 30 minutes, but they get to see spots that, I know we kind of briefly showed you some spots. I didn't show you everything, but like, to me, like, I love seeing the tunnels. The boiler room is such a cool opportunity. The rooftop, you can see all of Sheboygan all the way around. You can see the giant flag. Our staff got to take it last year and see some of it after the season, and they were just so cool of what they got to work in and get to see like the actual building. So.
Yeah. Let's talk about the community. How has it been received in Sheboygan?
I think really great. We actually had the opportunity, I know you're asking about like marketing. We were at the Sheboygan Fair, Sheboygan County Fair.
That's right, yeah.
That was actually the first fair that we ever really got to do for this attraction, which is really cool. People are stoked about it. It's funny, some people are like, oh, I don't want to go. It's like something like, or it's too scary, or I can't tell you. If I had $1 for everybody that told me that their mom or grandmother may have worked in it, which I know this was a very key point of this, the area. A lot of people have worked in there, but it's kind of cool. And I just seeing the excitement for people. Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, I drive by that all the time. Or we had quite a bit of neighbors too. I tell you, how many people said we were neighbors, but that's great. I hope the neighbors come out and check out our, be a good neighbor and stop on by. That's the plan.
%.
I think the community's really, embrace it. I don't understand there's some maybe frustration with some people where they don't like seeing a haunted attraction inside of it or think it's rude or disrespectful. I would say at the end of the day, it's never our goal to disrespect, we appreciate or anybody that may have passed on along here or family members, it's nothing in our, our goal of like, let's rub it in their face. Not at all. We would just want to kind of keep the heritage of this facility and keep this funded because if, this building can't make any income, it will not be able to sustain. And I would hate to see it get torn down and lose history and then see an apartment building get here because I feel like there's already quite a bit enough of those around.
And I truly believe that you mean that because you said that even off of the camera, off of the mic, you were like, it was pretty much part of what, like, man, my goal is not, I want to see this thing survive because without people in it, without people being invested into it, it's going to just disappear. And that's sad because it's beautiful here.
Make a brewery out of here.
Make a brewery. Yeah. Asylum brewery.
Yeah.
So I want to know this, what does success look like beyond ticket sales? Is it people talking? What does it look like for you beyond the dollars and cents of it?
No, absolutely. I know that, that money and the dollars is a big sense of it to keep it funded for long, but I think just the reputation of, I look at, we're Wisconsin's only asylum haunted house attraction, but, being Wisconsin's, I will say I'm not the biggest fan of like ranking systems out there because I know a lot of it may be biased or opinionated of, oh, this is better than that one. But I look at it like movies that, every movie, there's something good about it, regardless of what somebody likes. I would tell somebody to go support every haunted attraction, but I think just having a good reputation of attraction, like, you know what, we went there, we had a lot of fun. And, even for the haunt community to appreciate and enjoy it, like, okay, that's a really cool site. This is our second year doing it. We're still kind of new to the game, I'd say a little bit, but, we're always looking to level up year in, year out and, increase this and make this bigger. We'd love to do another attraction on the site. There's ideas of expansion on the other side of, adding more or making our way to the tunnels and boiler room. Like, I cannot wait for that day. Like, it is going to be sick. But, to really make this Wisconsin's premier Halloween destination is kind of what one of our goals are. But, my biggest thing is I plan on staying in our own lane and focus on just us. Like, I know there's other haunted houses out there, but it's not my goal. I'm not going to sit there and go bash them. But I would go tell you, go visit all of them, really, like, help support them, because if we don't support and go to haunted attractions, it's going to die off too. We got to support entertainment sides of it. I know, like, one of my big things, I know a lot of people think, oh, it's expensive to go to a haunted attraction. It's expensive to go anywhere. And there's a lot of expenses that go into it. A lot of people don't know, like, let alone, paying your staff, the marketing side of it, putting the attaching, building everything, the nuts and screws, paint, like it all adds up.
Tap that real quick, the screen again, Patty. I'm sorry. I don't want me to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
I can see that it's gonna, nope, not that, but the actual screen. Nope, just the screen, just tap it. What's that thing down there? That hand.
It's a little red hand.
Does that mean it can't? What is?
Might be dead, just like mine.
No, it's going. Just tap that. Oh, okay, whatever.
Spirit.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, fine. Might be.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just kind of talking about, what cost of it, I mean, I know not everybody's going to understand, but as a business owner, like, everybody gets upset with the cost of stuff, be like the cost of eggs, but I can't imagine what it takes for a farmer to, make those, or, the cost of everything just goes up. Look at inflation and I don't, go down the rabbit hole of this, but like, look what fuel used to be to look what it is now. Unfortunately, everything goes up, but I know there's haunted attractions out there that are cost upwards of $50, $60, $70, $80. I know we do have a VIP tour that starts at that, but it includes the haunted house ticket, and you get to see the facility, which, to do some behind the scenes tours at places, $200, $300.
Oh, yeah.
So we try to make it affordable for everybody, but, at the end of the day, we also got to keep the lights on and, pay some bills with it. So
for sure. I get it, man. So we're almost out of time because I know you have
No, you're good.
you got people to scare.
It's all good.
Where do you see the place in, like, we can do let's do 5 and then 10 years.
No, absolutely. Even, year after year, I'm so focused on this year right now, but I'm always thinking ahead of like, how can we get better? How can we make this cool? Like, I'm always thinking of like, let's change this room and do this. Let's make this, in 5 years, I'd really hope that, that we got to a point where I'm like, we're all looking back at this, not just myself, but thinking like, wow, we've done well. Like, I'm very happy so far how this season's gone. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but I just hope it keeps going as well, because if it keeps doing this, it'll really look nice of, continuing going forward on, making this a lot better and better and better, because that's the goal of every year from 5 years to 10 years, is just making this better, having more attractions in here, having a hayride of maybe some sort, or a corn maze.
I love that idea, dude.
Concerts, just
Concerts.
making this a Halloween destination here in Wisconsin.
I love that idea, dude. I'm serious.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be awesome.
So I give you the concert thing. So I've been trying to work with certain like bands or certain to kind of come out here and check the place out, just so we can add more clientele to kind of come out here, because it'd be cool to have like an exclusive movie shoot or something.
Love that.
Some artists we've spoke with is from the Funeral Portrait, Lee Jennings. Spoke with him a little bit about maybe coming out. Spoke with Spencer Chunis from Ice Nine Kills, trying to kind of add like the horror side of to kind of come check the place out, and it'd be cool to do an exclusive one-off concert here. But like that's some of my goals of like how cool it'd be to do that.
I love that idea.
They do a festival in Columbus called Incarceration. And it's kind of a cool thing. They do like a music festival, but it's right next to the old prison where they shot Shawshank Redemption. But I think that'd be such a cool thing to do something to that ability out here,
Were you always a scary dude? Were you always into horror movies? Because Patty asked that earlier, and I want to make sure that we get that in.
So it's funny you say that, because so I was born in Minnesota, and I'd always hated like haunted houses when I was younger. And they had this haunted house at the state fair, and I was like, one year I'm gonna be brave enough to go through. And I was going through, I'm like, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you. Just thinking like I was just this big little kid or whatever. But I moved to Florida for a while, and I went out to a haunted house one night, and I was like, what do I do to work here? And they said, well, come out tomorrow night. So they gave me a chainsaw and put me on the hayride.
Stop it.
Oh, absolutely. I was hooked. I was sold on it. I was very thankful. We did very well that night. The owner talked to me after that. I was like, what do I got to do to keep you here? And I was like, well, it would be nice to get paid. This was like back, quite a few years ago, but I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I love this. And then, it's been a passion of mine ever since. I was a character before that. And then, once COVID happened, I used to drive monster trucks before that, got out of that.
Drove monster trucks?
Yes, sir.
Stop it.
Yes, sir.
Dude, that is awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where the side of like the entertainment side of it that I love to produce and put on a good show for the whoever it may be, customers, anybody that comes out to a show. COVID happened, kind of shut stuff down a little bit, and kind of got out of the industry, and got in contact with my business partner now, and it's been absolutely great doing the haunted attraction side of it. I mean, I will say like this haunted house side of this has probably given me the most gray hairs of my life. But I think sometimes in life, even with business, you got to take big risks to,
Bring one of your monster trucks here.
Oh yeah. Right.
What's what's it, Undertaker? Is that
That's a wrestling. So like, there's a truck called Gravedigger.
Gravedigger?
Monster Jet. Yeah.
I should know that.
Yeah.
Gravedigger. That'd be cool to bring out here.
Yeah. I always hated seeing that truck in the show because I was never a Gravedigger. I was Monster Mutt. So I always hated hearing that. I always hated hearing that truck's in the music. Always Gravedigger. But
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I love the horse side of it though.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I could talk to you forever, but
that's awesome.
the one last question that I had, and this is like goes back just for everybody and every business owner, I guess, but what's the ultimate goal? How do you want people to feel after being and going through the asylum? Like, what's the emotion that you want them to feel?
Them to, I guess it's not a bad way, like be out of breath, having a good time from laughing so hard. Like, you ever get that feeling like when you're laughing so hard that it hurts to laugh?
Yeah.
Because people always like bring their friends that are so scared, and I always think that's the best thing to do in a haunted house. Like, if you have a scared friend, bring them to a haunted house. Like, just say, hey, we're going to Olive Garden, and not go to Olive Garden, take a left turn, go to the haunted house attraction, and go through. But just seeing people's excitement and joy, like, I mean, honestly, I'll sit back sometimes behind like the walls and just hear the people scream and stuff like that. I can't tell you how much it truly means to me, just like hearing people happy and scared of just like, because that's what you do it for, like, provide a good experience, because like, even to our actors and stuff, like, this is an escape from reality, from the real work, it's not flipping burgers. It's not, it's coming here. It's like a family, providing a good, safe, fun show with everybody. And that's where you don't care what's going on right now. You just care about in the moment of, being with your friends and being with, that's what, I'd have to say. I wouldn't be probably the way it was too if it wasn't for my mom, everything she's done. She helps with me a lot with stuff behind the scenes. All this, like I said, I wouldn't be the man if it wasn't for her, and everything she's done. So I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for everybody that I've ever met along my way of making me who I am. Like, let's say, when I was younger, I've really matured myself and learned a lot. And I think that's what sometimes you gotta eat humble pie to really, as a business owner, like, you may not be the greatest in everything, but what you do is you surround yourself with great people and elevate your game, and be respectful and treat people right as best as you can, because if you're a crappy person or something like that, it'll come back to get you.
Tanner, you're a solid dude, bro. You are a solid guy. Seriously. Promote yourself. Where can people find you? Where can people find the asylum, and where do you want people to go?
Absolutely. Sheboygan hauntedasylum.com. That's our webpage that has all the information on there. You could buy tickets. You could read the stories. Even if you want to come work with us, fill out an application on our jobs link on there. We have all the ticket information. We do have some celebrity guests coming out. Check them out. They're all on the webpage, all that information. If you have any other ones, you could send us an email, ask us. But SheboyganHauntedAsylum.com. We're located out here, Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin, near the Waldo area. Probably about Pittsburgh, yeah. Yeah. So, it's a great night. We're open all the way through November 2nd for select nights. Just make sure to check the calendar. Our times are all on the calendar. We offer the VIP tours. I'd recommend anybody that wants a tour to purchase in advance, because the tickets price do go up. I believe, tonight when we operate, we have about 45 people going on the tour, which will be a pretty big tour. But, people want to see and check out this building. It's a really cool building. And, I'm very thankful and grateful to being inside of it all the time. And now I'd like for us to open the door and have them come. So the regular ticket starts at $29.95. That's just for a general ticket. We do sell an urgent pass. We have the ticket add-ons, which are $10. We have mini escape, axe throwing. The VIP tours start at $99.95. They can go up all the way up to $169.95, just due to the demand, because we like to deter people not having too much, because when the tour is too big, then you kind of lose out on the thing. We want the tours to be an intimate experience where you're really kind of getting an opportunity to hear what's being said. And like I said, if you take the tour, the guy that does it, Mike, does a phenomenal job. Like, I was so thrilled and happy when we took one with our team last year of how great of a job he did. So I'm very thankful that the knowledge man, he knows it. So if you have any questions in the building, he's the guy to go to.
All that info, the contact info, and your social media stuff will be in the show notes too.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, Tanner, man, thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate it,
I'm
dude.
serious.
I'm glad
You
you
are
got to check it.
awesome. Yeah, please come down. We did do a little bit of a tour earlier. I'm going to have some of that while we're talking.
Absolutely.
But come down.
Absolutely.
Just go down here and get a tour. Boom.
Sheboygan Haunted Asylum.
That's right. And thank you so much for watching. Patty, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you all next time. Stay scary.